A lot of elected officials might look at this through the lens of their own experience and go, gee, how would I have fared under this system, under instant runoff voting? Would I have won? It very much can come up. And Mona, could you talk about that as an elected official yourself?
Well, I guess I haven't checked to see would I have won, but I think there's several issues. One is I came into the elected side of this as opposed to teaching about politics, I guess because I really, like all of the people in this room, really believe in the democratic process. And I would have to say to those who are going back to the past, like in this election, how would it have affected me, or in that election, I would ask those people, first of all, please not do this based on self-interest, but rather on the good of the public and the democratic process. I would also say that, this kind of change, in fact, again, I'm sure this will be explained more, but is a charter change for the city, and that I think it would be really important, given the momentum that's developed, the chamber support, and many organizations which you see in the folders, that this be taken to the public as a possible charter amendment, and of course that requires the council. I would also want to clarify for those who aren't aware that the 3 jurisdictions that would be impacted would be the City of Los Angeles, the Los Angeles Community College District, and the Los Angeles Unified School District. We do not have identical boundaries. However, due to the state election law, if this were to happen for City of LA, the school and college district would fall into this cycle of elections. And so I guess I want to say once again, I think it's not helpful to look to the past and how I did or would have done. It's better to say what is a better future for the community and for the democratic process.
Thanks, Mona. Richard, do you have any thoughts on this?
No, I mean, I think Mona, stated it perfectly, that I think for the members of the City Council that all claim to be interested in more participation, that there's something that's broken in the process, and it appears to me it's something that could be fixed very easily. And I think it would serve their interest, but more importantly, I believe that it would serve the public's interest to entertain something like the RV, and I think that the people of Los Angeles would be better off, and I think empowering more people and getting more people involved in it, I think, would be one of the positive results as a result of implementing something like this.
We've heard some feedback from one council member who said that, well, this is an interesting proposal. It'll save money for not just LA. It could save money for LA City and 2 other jurisdictions, but I'm only concerned about the savings to for the city of LA and not for LACCD and LAUSD, because we're the ones facing a deficit. And so what if the other jurisdictions can save money? What would be your response there?
Not to speak in a disparaging manner about that comment, but to me, I think it's idiotic.
Well, that was blunt.
I only care about Los Angeles, and I don't really care about the kids and the amount of money that it takes to run an election. Community colleges, to me, one of the most important parts of higher education. I think that's stupid, and I think that's probably the problem, is for people to have that kind of an attitude. I understand what it is whenever you advocate something different, because, I got elected under this system, so I know about this system, so don't give me anything that is different. But ask the general public, how ridiculous it is to spend the amount of money that we spend. I think that they would probably say that we shouldn't be spending this money. And I just think that anything that increases the people's participation is in the best interest of the city of Los Angeles.
Yeah, I just had a general question. Is IRV being used anywhere else, and is it working?
What?
Is IRV being used anywhere else? Like,
San Francisco, Oakland?
and how is it working? And
IRV is being used in a wide variety of jurisdictions. Up north in San Francisco, it was voted in 2002. It's been used since 2004. Over there, it's worked very well. In fact, voter turnout has gone up 168% overall. And if you look at the six most diverse neighborhoods in the city, IRV actually raised voter turnout went up by over 300%. And it's not just in San Francisco. Minneapolis just voted to adopt IRV. Oakland is in the process of implementing IRV. Santa Fe, New Mexico, just voted to have IRV. And in fact, Ireland has used IRV to elect its president since 1938. So this is nothing new. And this is part of a national movement that people are embracing because it makes common sense, it helps voters, and it saves tax dollars. So that's pretty much its pedigree and record to date.
I was talking to a friend on the bus. This isn't my question. But we were talking about this event, and he said he was not, it's a good idea, but he was against it because it's just going to confuse voters. People have a hard enough time with yes and no. To put in 1, 2, or 3 is just going to be too baffling. Again, not my question, but it's a concern that he brought up. So,
one thing is that maybe if folks aren't used to voting 1, 2, 3 that way, but we do it all the time in real life. You go to an ice cream store, they don't have vanilla. What do? You go for your second choice. Maybe it's chocolate, maybe it's hazelnut, who knows. But in the voting area, people catch on really quickly. And in fact, in San Francisco, what we've seen is that after IRV was introduced, 87% of voters surveyed said that they understood it quite well. In fact, 90% of Latino voters said they understood it and understood how to use it. So, certainly it'll take some voter education, and that we are fully prepared to do. And they did a really successful campaign in San Francisco, and there's a really good track record on which we can build. But after that education is done, voters get it.